Hi guys, welcome back to PST Live. My name is Allan and you guys probably saw me last week Tuesday. Basically, I'm going to be here every Tuesday. Now, anyhow, so sorry about that because if you were looking for Melanie, sorry she's not teaching today, but she will be teaching again tomorrow. So if you were interested in seeing Melanie again, please tune in tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoy class with me. Now, I know for this week your assignment is called Where the Heart Is. Now, I know the answer because it's right here, right about here in our body. Oh, bad joke, right? Of course, we're talking about, where your house is, where you feel at home, right? Where the heart is at home. And of course, your writing assignment, which is due pretty soon, right, is all about writing about your home, whether that's currently, back in your home country, in Korea, Japan, or Brazil, or whether that's in another place. Could be in America, could be in Canada, whatever. But you have to describe your house or apartment using adjectives. And of course, our grammar focus for this week is the correct order of adjectives. So you have to be careful when you're making those sentences to use the correct adjectives, right? But anyhow, that's not too important today because, of course, today we are going to be doing some reading for the first two classes, right? And again, we're going to be looking at a Guardian article from The Guardian. And it looks pretty interesting. If we take a look here, let's warm up. Let's do a warmer. We've got, in which of the following situations do you tend to make lists? What else do you make lists of? Okay, well, let's focus on that first question, right? We've got a list of a couple of things here, and we're going to think, do we make lists for these things? And I'm just going to give you guys my own personal opinion. So, thinking about the first one, it says here, things to take on holiday. Okay, now, how about you guys? When you guys are going on a holiday, do you make a list, right? Are you writing down things like, what do I need to bring when I go on holiday, right? Maybe you write a quick title, right? And you write down, vacation, right? Or holiday. Vacation to, now actually I should think, where do I want to go? Okay, where was my last vacation? Okay, now I was in Japan for my last one. But let's imagine I'm going to go to Germany. I don't know why. Well, actually I like beer, so Germany is probably a good choice, right? Vacation to Germany. And I underline that and I think, okay, I need to come up with a list of things that I'm going to bring with me when I go to Germany. So of course, what's the most important thing we need to bring when we are visiting a foreign country? Does anybody got an answer? No, it starts with a P. It's by far the most important thing you need to bring with you when you visit another country. It is, okay. It is, of course, your passport. Okay, so maybe I need my passport, of course. And then, of course, when you're visiting another country, what else do you need? You need clothes, right? I know that's kind of lame, but write down clothes. You need this one, right? What is this? What is this? This is the international symbol. Well, okay, I shouldn't say international symbol, but this is the Canadian and American symbol for what? What does this gesture mean? It means money, right? So you're going to need money, maybe lots of it, especially if you're going to a country like Germany. I believe Germany is quite expensive, right? So probably going to need a lot of money, or we're going to call it currency, right? Currency or money, just another different name for money. What else am I going to need? I'm going to Germany on vacation. What else do I need? Now, sometimes you can't find your favorite cleaning products or shampoo or something like that when you go to another country. So I'm going to write shampoo. Right? Is that important? Yeah, maybe a little bit. You never know. Some hotels in different countries, they do provide you with shampoo, but other ones don't. And I'm not sure about Germany, so I'm going to be careful. I'm going to bring some shampoo, right? And what are some other things I would bring? Well, sometimes we just say toiletries. toiletries. Now that looks like toilet. If you think it looks like toilet, you're right, because toiletries is a term that basically includes everything you would use in the bathroom. So that would include things like, I don't know, toothbrush and toothpaste. And of course for me, I'm a guy. I need to do this one almost every day. I need to shave, so of course I'm gonna need a razor and etc., right? Everything that you have in your bathroom, we can basically call toiletries, right? And yeah, that's kind of a useful term. Okay guys, so yeah, if I'm thinking about going on holiday, yes, I do make a list. But let's take a look at our second one here. What to buy at the supermarket. Okay, now this is just me. I usually don't make a list when I go to the supermarket to do shopping. Now, why wouldn't I make it a list? Well, that's because I am, ding ding ding, I am married, right? So actually, usually my wife makes a list and then she texts it to my smartphone, and then I just follow whatever my wife wants, because I'm not very good at shopping, and I'm definitely not very good at grocery shopping. So I don't actually make a list, but my wife does. Okay, next one we've got people to send greetings cards to. Do I make a list of people to send greetings cards to? I'm gonna have to be honest here. No, I don't do that. Sometimes around Christmas, of course, in Canada and America, we feel kind of obligated to send maybe Merry Christmas cards to people, right? But again, that's something that usually my wife does, or at least she kind of makes a list, and I'm too lazy to actually participate, so I don't do that one either. Okay, but next one we got here is what to buy for a party. Okay, now of course, again, as I've already stated before, I am married, so I don't host a lot of parties, and I don't go to a lot of parties anymore, right? You know, after you get married, the number of parties you go to decreases a lot, right? You don't go out as often as you used to. But when I was single, and if I was going to host a party, would I make a list of things that I need? Yeah, sometimes I would. So let's think of that list, right? So I'm gonna get rid of this list, the vacation to Germany. I'm gonna just erase this here. I hope if there was anything interesting here that you guys already caught it and wrote it down. But I'm gonna erase that, and there we go. Okay, so let's think maybe when I was younger, let's say in my early 20s, I'm gonna host a party at my house, right? And so maybe I'm just gonna call it party list. Now, what kind of things would I write down on the party list? Okay, well, a lot of times when you host a party, you know, some people are gonna be eating, so you might want some paper plates, right? Paper plates, always very useful. Not so terrible for the environment, right? Because they can be broken down and returned to the earth. So, paper plates. Also, you might need to, especially if you're gonna serve food, you might need some forks, some knives, some spoons, chopsticks, you know, all that kind of stuff. What can we call those? Starts with a C. There's a catch-all term for forks, knives, chopsticks, and spoons. It is cutlery. Cutlery. So kind of a useful word, right? Because it includes spoons, forks, knives, etc. or etc., right? So cutlery. Now maybe I'm a nice host, right? So I'm gonna get some food for everybody, right? And maybe when I was younger, if I was hosting a party, you kind of go for easy food, right? Something that you could get delivered to your place. So of course I'm thinking someone with a P. It's Italian. Anybody got a guess? Someone with a P. It's Italian. Mamma mia. Lots of cheese on it. Maybe some tomato sauce. Yeah, of course I'm thinking of pizza. So I get some pizza. Now, usually, and this might be an interesting cultural difference for you, but usually in Canada and America, when we host a party, we do not feel obligated to provide alcohol, right? That's something that our guests should bring to the house, right? So that they can drink it themselves. And actually, we usually call that BYOB party, right? So actually, I'm gonna add that to the top of my list here. BYOB. Now, of course, BYOB stands for something, right? What do you think it stands for? BYOB. BYOB. Well, B stands for bring. What does the Y stand for? Stands for your. Bring your. The O is own. Bring your own what? What are you gonna bring? Bring your own bottle or bring your own beer, right? Bring your own beer or bring your own bottle. It's a BYOB party. Now, I don't know why, but yeah, like I said before, in North American English-speaking culture, Canada and America, we usually do not provide alcohol for our guests. Usually we expect that they bring their own beer or whiskey or cocktail mix or whatever it is that they want to drink, right? So we call it BYOB. Okay, but I'm a nice guy, so I'm not going to be providing alcohol, but I will provide, let's say, oh, and this is not very good. This is not fashionable these days. Plastic cups, which of course is not environmentally friendly, but remember when I was in my early 20s, this is like 10 years ago, so at the time people didn't complain about this, but now it's probably a big no-no, right? Okay, but etc., etc., etc. I could list down a couple of more things for my party list. So yeah, in the past, if I did host a party, I would make a list. Now, last thing we got here is things to remember to do next week. Okay, so do I make a list for things that I need to do for next week? I do sometimes, right? I'm a fairly disorganized person. I am not the most neatly organized person in the world. So I do make lists and I tend to keep them on my phone. Now, my lists of what I'm gonna do next week are pretty basic though, right? Or I'm using Google Calendar. I usually just write down like the day I should do something. So, you know, Monday, talk to Fred about new course, right? Tuesday, talk to Jonathan about football practice. Wednesday, talk to Stephanie about Shaw Cable / internet, right? I'm pretty sure you guys probably do the same thing because I'm sure a lot of you guys are also kind of disorganized like I am. Okay guys, so after taking a look at some of these here, I would say, yeah, I make a list for things I will take on holiday, and I'll make a list for what I would want to buy for a party, and maybe also for things I'll do next week, but not so much for grocery shopping, and not so much for, you know, people to send greetings cards to. But the second part of our warm-up question here says, what else do you make lists of? Okay, good question, and I'm really gonna have to think about this. What else do I make lists for? Now, like I said, I'm not the most organized person, so I'm not making a lot of lists in my lifetime, right? Oh, well, of course, I do make lists for Christmas, right? And I write down everybody's name, and then I write down what kind of gifts I could get them, right? So usually I'll make like a Christmas list, and then I'll write down, I don't know, my younger brother's name, right? You know, David. And then I'll write down maybe 2 or 3 potential gifts for David that I could get, right? So I write down, you know, book, ? Or maybe whiskey, ? And then something else. And then later I come back to this list and then I make a decision, right? I think, okay, book or whiskey, book or whiskey. Of course, whiskey, right? Circle whiskey, go buy whiskey, send it to my younger brother for Christmas, right? But I'll write down usually all the names of my family members, whether that's relatives who are kind of distant from me, maybe some of my aunts and uncles will be included, but also my immediate family members, my wife and my daughter, right? But also my brothers, my sister, my mom, and my dad. anyhow, maybe you guys do the same thing. You make lists for things you need to buy, others for a special holiday, like maybe Christmas, or if you're in Korea, maybe for somebody's birthday, or oh man, I'm gonna mispronounce this really bad. Chuseok, or Solnar, Lunar New Year, right? Yeah, so maybe you make a list, like, okay, for dad, I'm gonna get dad book, or I don't know, new chair. New chair. Who gets a new chair for a holiday or for a special day? I don't know. Anyhow, guys, so that's about it for me. I honestly can't think of other things that I make lists for, but maybe you're a really well organized person. Maybe you make lists for lots of things, right? And good for you. So think about that. All right, guys, but I think we better move on to the second part here. We've got some key words. Now, last week, when I did this with you guys, I kind of went over each sentence and then I kind of explained vocabulary. But this week, I think I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. What I wanna do here first is go over the vocabulary, give you a brief explanation of the word, right? And then we'll take a look at the actual sentences here, and then we'll think about which word could fit in the blanks here. I think that's probably better. So let's take a look at our list, guys. At the top here, it says fill the gaps in the sentences using these keywords from the text. Okay, the paragraph numbers will help you. Okie dokie. All right, so we're not actually gonna go into the reading though and look at that because it would take too long. So instead, let's take a look at this vocab here. Now, first one we got is urgent. Urgent. Okay, now I hope you guys can also pronounce that with me because it might be a little bit hard to pronounce. Urgent, right? Now, let me briefly explain what urgent means. Now, urgent is an adjective. If we say something is urgent, this is urgent. What we are saying is something needs to be done now. You have to move quickly, right? If we say it's urgent, or if your boss says, you know, you have to finish this report, it is urgent. It means you gotta do this like now, ASAP, as soon as possible, because it's urgent. You gotta do it now. It's almost an emergency, right? So that is urgent. Let's take a look at our next word here. So next word here, oh, very, very simple. You guys probably already know this one. It's share, to share something. So of course this can be a verb, right? And we all know what share means, right? If you don't know what share means, maybe you're a very selfish person and you should feel bad. Of course, I'm kidding, right? But to share something means to let somebody else use something, right? This is a very hard concept for children, right? You give children a candy and then you say, please share with your brother or your sister. And like, no, I don't want to share. I want to keep it, right? And they're like, no, 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 please share it. Break it in half, give the other half to your brother, right? No, it's mine. They're like, no, 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 you don't understand what sharing is, right? Sharing means you get some of it and they get the other part of it, right? But anyhow, too easy, guys. I'm pretty sure you know what share is. Now, let's take a look at our next one. We've got app. 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 What could this be? Well, app is short for another word. And app is short for application, right? Application. And we're talking about software application, right? You have many different software applications on your phone, right? You know, your email or Instagram or Facebook, etc., right? Now, we don't usually call that software application. Bleh, it's too long, right? So we shorten the term and we just call it app, right? Now, similar to this, there's another word that looks similar, but it's called appy, right? Or appies. That is completely different. An appy or appies is something you can get in a restaurant, and that is short for appetizer. But anyhow, totally different things. But yes, you have a lot of apps on your phone. Now, let's take a look at the next term we got here. We got pop-ups. Pops up. Okay, well, you can use this in two different ways, right? We've got pops up. Now, this is the verb, right? Something pops up, right? Maybe when you're using your computer, right? You're web surfing, you're looking at some different websites, and then suddenly something pops up. A pop-up pops up, right? So pops up means like suddenly appears, kind of like out of nowhere, right? And you guys have all had this experience while web surfing or web browsing, right? You're on this page and you're like, oh, this is cool, this is interesting information, and then boom, there's a pop-up, you know, the FBI is watching you. Don't download illegal content. You're like, oh my God, the FBI again? Right? Anyhow, guys, so yeah, that's what a pop-up is, but pops up can be a verb too, right? Now, another good verb related to this, and I just want to bring this up because it's very, very useful. It's something you can use quite often actually, is P-O-P, and then separate word B-Y, or by. To pop by, right? So to pop by, totally different meaning though. To pop by means to stop by somewhere briefly in order to do something. So let's say I'm walking home and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm gonna pop by Starbucks and use the washroom, right? Or I'm gonna pop by 7-Eleven and buy a drink. Or I'm gonna pop by Brian's house so I can chit chat with Brian. So pop by just means to go somewhere in order to do something. And I'm gonna write SMTH. Sorry, I'm kind of lazy. SMTH is gonna be something. In order to do something, but briefly, just for a short amount of time. Anyhow, guys, just thought that was kind of useful. So let's move on to our next word here, guys. We've got sink. Sink. Now, it sounds like the way you pronounce this is the same way you pronounce like S-I-N-K, like a ship is sinking, right? Or kitchen sink, bathroom sink. But this has a completely different meaning. But yes, S-Y-N-C, to sink. Now, to sync things, actually this is in relation to technology, using computers, using smartphones, that kind of stuff. If you sync your phone with your computer, that means they will share the same information. They will be linked or connected. So they'll share the same data, right? And that is sync. Okay, now let's move on, guys, to the list after number 5 here. The first thing we got here is bucket list. Now, you're probably a bit confused. You're thinking bucket, right? You know, like bucket is not a very interesting word, right? A bucket is just kind of a container, like a garbage can, right? So it's very strange to think, you know, like if it has the same meaning as garbage can, you know, like garbage list, right? What is a garbage list, right? Sounds bad, right? But anyhow, a bucket list has a completely different meaning. A bucket list is a list of things you want to experience before you die or before you pass away. So a lot of people will make like bucket lists of, you know, experiences that they want to have before they die. So maybe you think at home, you're like, what do I want to do before I die? Or where do I want to go before I die? I think like, okay, well, a lot of people told me Spain is a very nice country, right? So maybe I'm gonna write down on my bucket list, go to Spain, right? Or maybe there is an interesting experience that I've never had, but I really want to experience that before I die. And I think, you know, I really want to go bungee jumping before I die, right? Because I've heard it's an awesome experience. So I write down bungee jumping. Now, maybe just as a quick example, I could write that down here really briefly. Example, bucket list. So I said, go to Spain, right? Go to Spain. And then also, that looks a little bit weird, bungee jumping. But yeah, maybe you at home, you could think of some things you would like to do before you die and add it to your bucket list, right? So bungee jumping, I also want to, I I would like to go to Scotland and have, now I don't know if you guys know very much about Scotland, but what is one thing that Scotland is very famous for? Anybody? Okay. No, are you thinking kilts, like the skirts that men in Scotland wear? That's a good answer, but no, I don't want to wear a kilt. I'm not that kind of guy, but if you are, that's okay. But no, Scotland has a very famous product. It's very old. They've been making this for a long time and is very well respected in all over the world, right? If you like alcoholic beverages, you have to know that Scotland is famous for Scotch, right? So I want to go to Scotland and have Scotch, right? I want to have some good Scotch. Oh yeah, good stuff. All right, guys, and maybe one more thing I want to add to my bucket list. I want to, who's a famous actor that I really like? Okay, I want to hang out with Tom Cruise. Okay, yeah, this is probably not gonna happen, right? I know that's a really weird one. Why did I think of Tom Cruise? Yeah, I don't know. He's a good actor. He's an interesting actor. Yeah, not maybe. Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. Because if Tom Cruise is watching, I don't want him to come and kill me or, whatever. Okay, guys, so anyhow, but that is an example of a bucket list. Oh my God, I forgot the T here. There we go, bucket list. All right, guys, next term we got here is password. Everybody knows what a password is. I don't think I have to explain this to you guys. I'm pretty sure even in your guys' language, you guys use the term password. When you're signing into your email, you enter your username and then you enter your password. So not gonna talk about that one. So let's move on to admin. Admin. What is admin? Well, admin is short for administration, right? And in every business, we have people who work in admin or who are administrators, right? So that's what admin is. But let's move on. Next term we got here is convenient. So of course this is an adjective. We'd say something is convenient. And of course you guys probably know the noun form of this is convenience, right? Convenience store, like 7-Eleven or I don't know, By the Way or Family Mart or something like that, right? Convenience stores. Convenience stores are convenient, right? Not so much in Canada. Actually, the convenience stores in Canada are not that great. Sometimes they're a little bit inconvenient, right? But we don't call them inconvenient stores because that would sound terrible, right? So of course the opposite of convenient is inconvenient. If something is convenient, it's easy to do, right? It's easy, it doesn't take a lot of your time. If something is inconvenient, it's difficult to do. It sucks up a lot of time and it causes you frustration, right? Anyhow, guys, last thing we got here, we've got a pretty good phrasal verb. It's to keep track. And if you keep track of something, that means you kind of keep your eyes on it, right? You continuously watch this thing. Now, of course, if you're a parent like I am, you want to keep track of what your kid is doing, right? Or maybe you allow your kid to use YouTube or do web surfing, right? But you want to keep track of what websites they're looking at, right? Because if little Johnny is looking at something bad, you're gonna have to punish them. So you're gonna keep track of them. Okay, guys. Now that I've given you a brief explanation of the vocabulary here, let's quickly go through these sentences and figure out which word fits in which blank or which gap. So let's go back to number 1. It says here, if something blank on a screen, it appears quickly or suddenly. Okay, something blank. So we're looking for a verb here. What do you guys think? We're looking for a phrasal verb. If something pop, if it pops up, right? Okay, that was too easy. So yeah, what we're looking for here, guys, is pops up, because a pop-up will pop up, right? So if something pops up on a screen, it appears quickly or suddenly. Okay, bada bing, bada boom. Number 1 is done. Let's take a look at number 2. blank is a short form of the word application, a piece of computer software that is designed to do a specific job. Okay, too simple, right? Because they're using the word application. Which word here is short for application? We already talked about it. It is app, right? An app, A-P-P. Okie doke. All right, number 3, guys. Something task is one you must do immediately. So what kind of task? Now also, even if you can't remember, take a look at the article at the beginning here. It's an, un. So we know that the word following this must start with a vowel, an A, E, I, O, or U, right? So of course, when I was talking about this list of vocabulary before, one of these words means you must do this thing soon, ASAP, now. And that word is urgent, right? So an urgent task is one that you must do immediately. And if you guess that at home, good job. All right, now number 4, if you blank things, you use them with other people. Okay, you use them with other people. Okie dokie, so what is this? I think this is too simple. I think you guys already know. Of course, the answer we're looking for here is share. If you share things, you use them with other people. Yay, right? Good for sharing. Okay, number 5. If you blank things, you make sure that 2 phones or computers have the same data by using software that compares data and copies or removes it. Okay, now that is an overly difficult explanation, but basically what we're looking for here is sync, right? Because sync means you're like connecting 2 pieces of technology, 2 computers or a computer and a phone, etc. Okay guys, but moving on to number 6, says blank is the activities associated with managing a business, an organization, or household, right? Okay, so a business-related term describes people who are managing things in a business or maybe in a house or some kind of organization. So look, of course, we're looking for something that starts with an A. It is admin, right? Short for administrators. Okay. Moving on to number 7, guys. If you blank of something, you have all the information that you need about it. What? If you blank of something, you have all the information that you need about it. If you blank of something, ooh, oh, give me a second. Oh my God, guys, I'm making a mistake, or not making a mistake, but I'm slightly confused. If you, what? If you, oh yeah, sorry guys, oh my God, yeah, I'm having a, oh no, I'm gonna write down kind of a slang term here. This is not a very nice term, but it kind of describes the experience I just had. Sometimes we say brain fart. I had a brain fart. That means, you know, like you can't think momentarily, right? Your brain is not working. So sorry, I had a brain fart. Number 7. Of course, we're looking for a phrasal verb here, right? And there's only one more phrasal verb on this list, keep track, right? So if you keep track of something, you have all the information that you need about it, right? You can keep a watchful eye on something. Oh my God. Okay, number 8, guys. A blank is the numbers and or letters you have to put into a computer so that you can use the system. All right, guys, this is too simple. You know, when you turn on your computer, or when you restart your phone, you need to enter your password, right? So that one, I'm pretty sure too easy. We're looking for a password there. Okay, number 9, a blank is a number of experiences or achievements that you hope to have or accomplish before you die, right? And that one's pretty easy. We already got an example on the board here. Of course, that's your bucket list, that list of things you want to do before you die. Okay, guys, and last one here, very simple. If something is blank, it is easy to use. If something is blank, of course, if something is convenient, which is a really good adjective, right? If something is convenient, then it's very easy to use. Just like, I don't know, Instagram or Facebook is very convenient, or going to 7-Eleven. Not so much in Canada though, but if you're going to 7-Eleven in Japan or Korea or something like that, it's very convenient. You can get a lot of different things. You're like, oh my God, it's raining, right? Go to 7-Eleven, get an umbrella for $5. Wow, amazing. You can do that in Canada too, but it's not $5. It's more like 10 to 15. Ugh, little bit expensive, right? All right, guys, but that about does it for the second part here, our keywords. Let's move on to our third part before we actually read this article. And this part here, it says, find the information. Okay, and it says, find the following information in the text as quickly as possible. So basically what they're asking you to do here is to do something called skimming. And to skim means to look over something, some kind of text very quickly, looking for information, right? So let's take a look. The first one we got here is, what is the name of the author's partner? What is the name of the author's partner? So that must mean boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, or husband, right? Okay, so actually let's do this. Let's do this. Let's take a quick look. Let's look at our article and skim over it. Oh, okay, I already found it. Pretty simple. It's in the first paragraph, and actually it's in the first sentence. It says here, I'm at work when a message from my partner, Luke, pops up on the phone. Message from my partner, Luke. All right, bing, bing, bing. There's our answer, right? So our answer to number one, what is the name of the author's partner? The author's partner's name is Luke, right? Yeah, we got it. Okay, good. Let's take a look at number two. Which 3 list making apps are mentioned in the article? Okay, this is going to take more time. So you guys take a look at the article, start skimming. I'm also going to skim here, and I'm going to be looking for 3 list making apps. Okay, what are they? Okay, I got one. Oh, I only got one. The one mentioned so far is Trello. So I got Trello. Okay, no, okay, haven't found another one, but okay, Wunderlist is the second one, Wunderlist. Okay, so I got Wunderlist and Trello, and let's see if there's another one. In the 8th paragraph, oh, okay, and there's one by Microsoft in paragraph 8 called Microsoft To Do, right? I haven't used it. Maybe it's also good. All right, so I found the 3 applications that they're talking about here. We're talking about Microsoft's To Do, Wunderlist, and Trello. And I have personal experience with Trello. It's quite good. I don't know about Wunderlist. I don't know about Microsoft To Do. I'm sure it's not too bad though. Okay, good. All right, number 3. It says, who introduced the author to the list making app Trello? Okay, so who introduced the author to using this list making app called Trello? Okay, let's skim again. You guys take a look. I'm gonna take a look too. Okay guys, take a look at paragraph 3. The first sentence here says, I used to use pen and paper before Luke introduced me to Trello. Okay, so answer is pretty easy. It's the same one as number 1. It's actually Luke. Luke introduced the author to Trello. All right, good. Okay, now moving on to number 4, it says, which list making app does Will Carson use? Okay, so my hint here is look for Will Carson, look for the paragraph with Will Carson, and then you can probably find out which list making app Will Carson uses. Which list he likes, not uses. So let's take a look for Will Carson. Where is Will Carson? Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Paragraph 4, guys. You can see Will Carson here. It says, we're big fans of lists. We enjoy making lists so we can cross things off of them. Says Will Carson, a Wunderlist fan. So that doesn't mean that Will Carson is a fan of Wunderlist, right? Is that a bad, yeah, that's a bad joke, right? He's a fan of Wunderlist. He likes Wunderlist, but we should read a little bit more here. It says, but practically speaking, it allows my girlfriend and me to always have a list, whether it's for shopping, things to get for the house, or things for our daughter. Having everything synced or connected on both our phones is great because I have a terrible memory. All right, so Will Carson sounds like me. He has a bad memory, but I don't use Wunderlist. But anyhow, so because it says Will Carson is a fan of Wunderlist, I think our answer could be for number 4, which list making app does Will Carson likes? He likes Wunderlist because he is a fan of Wunderlist. Okay, good guys, let's take a look at number 5. According to the product marketing manager of Microsoft To Do, what is their biggest competitor? Okay, so we need to look for the product marketing manager of Microsoft To Do. So let's take a look, let's skim, guys. Now I know Microsoft To Do is kind of appears in paragraph 8. So take a look here. It says, food lists and household admin are the most common things that couples share in lists. But these apps are also for bucket lists, creative goals, books, courses, or memorable things that have happened. If you can write it in a list, it's been created by someone, says Simon Chan, Senior Product Marketing Manager of Microsoft To Do. Okay, so now we know Simon Chan is the product marketing manager for Microsoft To Do. Now, does he mention a competitor, right? Because that's what we're looking for. We're looking for Microsoft To Do biggest competitor. There are a lot of tools for task management, but our biggest competitor is paper, right? Okay, so Simon Chan doesn't believe that it's a rival application or rival app like Trello or Wunderlist that is their biggest competitor. Their biggest competitor is actually just paper, because people are still writing down things on paper and making lists. Okay, so actually the answer to number 5 is simply their biggest competitor is paper. All right, guys, and number 6. Ooh, I'm having a hard time reading number 6. My copy is a little bit cut off at the end. What does the author of the article never share? Yeah, okay, yeah. What does the author of the article never share? Now, maybe my guess is that's kind of like a secret thing, right? What are they not sharing with other people? Maybe money, right? Well, I don't know. We got to skim through this article. So take a look, probably in the last paragraph it will be mentioned, right? So let's take a look at paragraph 9 together. It says, I never even share my email password. So it's been a surprise to find myself sharing personal information with another person. But my partner and I also have private Trello boards that we don't share. And we're not one of those couples who share a Facebook profile. But our shared tech tools help us work as a team. All right, so what does the author of the article never share? She kind of mentions a couple of things. Now I'm saying she because I believe this is a woman. I could be wrong. But anyhow, she says, I never even share my email password. So we're looking for email password. Of course, she's not sharing her email password with other people, right? Who does that? Who does share their email password with other people? My wife doesn't know my email password. I would never share it with her. There's too much private emails in my email address. Okay, that's a bad joke, right? Of course, she knows my email, and sometimes she checks it, right? Right? Anyhow, guys, all right. So finally, we're done all the warm-up stuff. We can finally read this article here. Now, we don't have a lot of time before the break. So I do think, of course, it's a good idea for you guys to read this yourselves. But what I'm going to do, because maybe it helps you with pronunciation or understanding these words better, is I'm going to go through these paragraphs one by one. I'm not really going to explain them very much, but I'm just going to read them. And we might think about some of the vocabulary a little bit, but I'll start reading it, then we'll go into the break, and I'll probably have to continue reading after the break as well, right? But let's take a look at our first paragraph. And, well, we should read, of course, the title here. It says, How List-Making Apps Could Save Your Relationship. So So maybe these list making apps can save our relationships with our girlfriends and our wives, our boyfriends, and our husbands. I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm a little bit suspicious right now. I'm not too sure if they can. But anyhow, it says, yeah, how list making apps could save your relationship. I should have seen this before. Of course, the author's name is Jessica. Of course, it is a woman. Jessica Furseth. Interesting name. And the article is from 2017, so not too long ago. All right, first paragraph, guys. I'm at work when a message from my partner, Luke, pops up on my phone. It's from the Trello app, which means it's not urgent. If it was something important, my partner would send me a text. For us, a note on the Trello app is for something to talk about later. Okay, guys, so that's the first paragraph. Nothing too hard, just talking about using Trello. Okay, second paragraph. Luke and I use the list-making app to share things we need to remember. It is where we put everything we need to do, buy, or talk about. And it updates in real time on both our computers and phones. That afternoon, I added a few more notes myself. Cat food, printer paper, to a list called shopping. Okay, so in the second paragraph, Jessica is talking about how she uses this list-making app, Trello, right, to create lists of things that they need to do, they need to maybe buy, or a list of things they need to talk about, right? Oh man, I wouldn't want to use that with my wife too much, right? Because the list of things to talk about, it would be too long, right? It would just kill me. All right, that's a bad joke. Anyhow, it updates on both real time, okay, on the computers and phones. Is great. And she added a few notes for herself, like cat food or printer paper. So I guess that's a list of things she needs to purchase, right? Anyhow, guys, third paragraph. I used to use pen and paper before Luke introduced me to Trello. He says it's the best software for small projects, a category in which he includes our personal life. Task management apps such as Trello are digital versions of the old-fashioned to-do list. All right, guys, now the very last part here, to-do list. This is something that a lot of people in Canada and America make, right? We write down to-do list, and to-do lists are lists of things that we should do, right? My mom used to make me to-do lists when I was a little kid, right? To-do list, clean your room and do laundry and do your homework and be quiet or something like that, right? So yeah, basically what they're saying here is apps like Trello are kind of a modern digital version of old-fashioned traditional to-do lists. Okay, guys, all right, pretty good. Now we're making good progress. I'm probably going a little bit too fast, but that's okay. And we're about to run into the break here. So I think I'm gonna stop here for now. After the break, we will continue to read through this, and then after that, we've got a lot of stuff to look at. We've got a lot of comprehension questions. We've got some rearranging words. We got some phrases we need to look at. We actually got a lot of stuff. So we'll take a break. We'll read over this, and then we'll go over some more questions afterwards, right? Okay, guys, I'll see you again after the break. Okay guys, welcome back to PST Live. If you missed the first class, again, my name is Allan, and we are just continuing to go over this reading article. Now, we've read almost half of this article here about digital, modern list-making apps that could potentially save your relationship, maybe, right? Okay guys, but we're moving on to paragraph 4, right? So let's just keep reading. I hope that you guys read the whole article during the break, right? I hope you did, right? Now, anyhow, I also heard that there's about 15-ish, 14, 15, 16 people watching this right now. If you guys could, maybe write some comments or ask me a question, I'd appreciate it. Especially if I ask you a question, if you could write an answer, that would be super awesome. Anyhow, let's read paragraph 4. So paragraph 4 here, guys, says, we're big fans of lists. We enjoy making lists so we can cross things off of them, right? So they can cross things off of them. Says Will Carson, a Wunderlist fan. But practically speaking, it allows my girlfriend and me to always have a list, whether it's for shopping, things to get for the house, or things for our daughter. Having everything synced on both our phones is great because I have a terrible memory. All right, guys, so that's paragraph 4. And this person, Will Carson, is talking about how he really likes making lists, right? He is a big fan of lists and he likes to cross things off the list. So you guys know when you make a list of things you want to go shopping for, when you get those things, you cross them off your list, right? Anyhow, but yeah, he's thinking about, he uses this for things like shopping, things to get for the house, things for their daughter, etc. And he says having everything synced or connected on both our phones is great because he says he has a terrible memory. Okay, so good. Let's move on to paragraph 5. Paragraph 5 says, one of the benefits of shared task management apps is it can make it easier for couples and families to share the admin of daily life, right? The admin of daily life, daily life administration, right? This means sharing the mental work of keeping track of everything. Buying printer paper is just half the job. It is just as important to notice that you need printer paper and plan when to get it, right? So I think this paragraph here, paragraph 5, is kind of talking about the benefits of using these applications, whether it's Trello or Wunderlist, right? Because they can really help you keep track of things that you need to buy or things you need to do, and then you can sync them between maybe the wife and husband or boyfriend and girlfriend so that they can share the kind of work of keeping track and then purchasing these items. So maybe that's why they're talking about how these applications can save your relationship, right? Okay, anyhow guys, paragraph 6 says, women have traditionally done this type of task. Storing everything in a shared task management tool means you're more likely to share the work of remembering all the event details, login passwords, food preferences, and phone numbers, and so it won't be the job of just one partner. Now, I already kind of talked about that before. Yeah, and I agree with this paragraph. It says traditionally, in the past, generally it was women who were the ones who were doing this kind of task, right? Making these lists and maybe going out and going grocery shopping and doing these kind of things, right? But these applications, like they said before, they kind of connect the boyfriend and girlfriend or the wife and husband. And so they have to share a lot of details, like the passwords, the details of an event details, or food preferences and all this kind of stuff. So both partners are on the same page, right? And that's actually a kind of a useful expression, right? I'm going to write that down right now. To be on the same page. Now, to be on the same page here, if I say I'm on the same page as you, or are we on the same page as a question mark, It means like, are we thinking the same thing, or do we have access to the same information, right? So with these, sharing apps here, you can use them to be on the same page, so that the wife and husband know what is going on. They know what they both need to buy or what they both need to do for that week. Anyhow, guys, let's move on to paragraph 7. This is a longer paragraph. It says, this is something I think about a lot. I'm definitely more organized than my partner, and I think part of why I started using sharing apps is that I hoped it would take some of the work off me, says Frankie Cockney, or Cookney. You're not going to change people's personalities with this technology, but at least once it's on the list, it's our responsibility, not just mine. Shared apps have been very useful for preparing for the birth of their baby, says Cookney, and they use Wunderlist for everything from shopping to meal planning. We sound really fun, don't we? Cookney laughs. But I think if you can do all the boring admin stuff in your life, you are free to do more fun stuff. Okay, so basically paragraph 7, guys, we've got this woman called Frankie Cookney, and she's talking about how because of this shared application, right, it takes work away from her. It's not just her responsibility, it's also her husband's responsibility. So that kind of lessens or reduces the amount of work she has to do. So she is not so stressed. So they have more free time to do other things. So sounds good for her. Maybe not so good for him. Anyhow. All right, guys. Paragraph 8 says, food lists and household admin are the most common things that couples share in lists. But these apps are also for bucket lists, creative goals, books, courses, or memorable things that happen. If you can write it in a list, it's been created by someone, says Simon Chan, Senior Product Marketing Manager of Microsoft To Do. The key is to make it simple, says Chan. There are a lot of tools for task management, but our biggest competitor is paper. It's beautifully simple and convenient. When we build Microsoft To Do, we want to recreate that feeling. All right, guys, so paragraph 8 here, talking about how most of these lists are going to be food lists or household admin, household chores, right? And chores, that's actually another good one. I'll write that down on the board just in case you guys don't know. So singular is chore, plural is chores. And chores basically is another word for housework, right? Because, of course, I'm sure my family, when I was younger, is probably similar to yours. My mom would always make a list of housework or chores. Like Allan takes out garbage. David does the dishes. Joe cleans up something, somewhere, right? He does something, anyhow. So this person is talking about, how you can make a list of things for, grocery shopping, for chores, etc. But the apps can also be used to make things like a bucket list, a list of things you want to do before you die. Or they can be used to make, list of creative goals that you have, books, courses, or some kind of memorable events. All right, sounds pretty good. Then after that, they introduced Simon Chan, who is the Product Marketing Manager of Microsoft To Do. So another application, this one made by Microsoft, that you can make lists on. And he says the biggest competitor that they have is paper, and they want to recreate that feeling of using paper in order to make a list. So good luck to Simon Chan. I hope the Microsoft To Do app is good. And of course, this article was written in July of 2017. So maybe it's possible, of course, that this application is already out. Maybe we should take a look for it later and see if we can download it. Maybe it's really good, right? Okay, guys, but last paragraph here, paragraph 9. I never even share my email password. So it's been a surprise to find myself sharing personal information with another person. But my partner and I also have private Trello boards that we don't share, and we are not one of those couples who share a Facebook profile. But our shared tech tools help us to work as a team. Okay, so this person is saying, of course, the author Jessica, she's saying that she doesn't, share her email password with people, right? Of course, who does that? You never want to share your email password with people, otherwise they can break into it and find all your banking information and steal all of your money, right? Oh my God, right? Anyhow, but she says she does share some personal information with, her boyfriend or her partner, Luke, right? Because they're using Trello. And she says also she's not one of those people that shares a Facebook profile, right? You probably know those people, like some couple, they share a Facebook page, yeah, it's not cool. But if you share a Facebook profile with your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, or husband, that's great, that's awesome. But for me, no, not cool. Okay, anyhow guys, so we have read over this article here. Good job, I hope you guys read that earlier during the break. So let's finally move on to some comprehension questions, right? So number 4 here, we've got comprehension check. Okay, finally, right? Now this one's pretty easy here. It says match the beginnings and endings to make statements about the text. So basically what we're going to be doing is just matching the things in number 1 through 6 with the things in A through F on the right here. So let's take a look together. We got number 1. Task management apps like Trello. ... Okay, so task management apps like Trello. What would match up with that, right? Let's take a look at our list on the right. We've got A, like Trello, remember things. Does that make sense? Task management apps like Trello remember things, right? Wow, sounds scary. Sounds like some kind of scary application that's watching you. No, that doesn't really make any sense, right? Task management apps like Trello. Now take a look through that list. Is traditionally something that women do? No. He sends her a text message. No, that doesn't make sense either, right? So if you think it's C, ding, 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 good job, because you're right. Task management apps like Trello are digital versions of the old-fashioned to-do lists. All right, good. So yeah, just remember task management apps like Trello or Microsoft To Do or Wunderlist, they are a digital or modern version of old-fashioned to-do lists. Okay, let's take a look at number 2, guys. It says here, if the author's partner has something important to tell her. Okay, guys. Now, actually, I can remember if we take a look back in the article, I think this is from paragraph 1, so that's my hint. Take a look in paragraph 1. If the author's partner has something important to tell her, does he use Trello? Does Luke use Trello if he has something important to tell her? No, of course he just sends her a text. So actually, the answer we're looking for here is F. Very simple. If the author's partner has something important to tell her, he sends her a text. All right, awesome. So number 2 matches up with F. Let's take a look at number 3. People use list-making apps. Okay, people use list-making apps. So probably our answer is going to be like people use list-making apps to do what? It's probably what we're going to be looking for here is something like explaining what they use these for, right? So looking through here, think about E. People use list-making apps for people to share the job of remember things to do around the house. Does that kind of make sense to you guys? Yeah, that kind of makes sense, but no, it's not really what we're looking for. But take a look at D. It's more to the point, right? To remember everyday things they have to do. That makes a lot of sense, right? So number 3 should be matched with D, right? People use list-making apps to remember everyday things they have to do, and that's why I make lists anyhow. Okay, number 4, guys, let's take a look here. Some people find it very difficult to... Now, of course, our answer is going to be to do something, so that's my hint. Take a look for the answer there. Some people find it very difficult to... Now, for me, it would definitely be A, right? To remember things, right? Some people find it very difficult to remember things. And actually, yes, that is our answer, right? Because some people are forgetful, right? And if you guys don't know that term, actually, I'm going to write that down. To be forgetful. I am a forgetful person. Now, if you say that you are forgetful, that means you often forget things. You have a bad memory, we say, right? Forgetful. Or we could also say here, and I use this term as well, absent-minded. I am an absent-minded person. I'm an absent-minded man, right? And if you think about it, absent means not here, right? It means the opposite of being present. I am present, I'm here. Melanie is absent, she's not here. But absent-minded means that it's like your mind is not here. You are forgetful. Anyhow, guys. Okay, so yeah, number 4 with A, some people find it very difficult to remember things. Okay, but moving on to number 5, remembering things to do around the house. What is the one we want to match it up with here? What would be the best answer? Remembering things to do around the house. Now, remembering things to do around the house. Now, think about what we just read about. Traditionally, in the past, a long time ago, well, not too long ago, whose job was it to kind of manage the household, to think about what they're going to need to buy for groceries, right? Or to think about chores and that kind of stuff. Of course, that was mom's job, or unfortunately, the job for women. I guess guys just didn't really do that, or maybe our brains don't work that well in that way. So anyhow, I think that's what we're looking for number 5, guys. So remembering things to do around the house, B, is traditionally something that women do, right? And if you think about this, I think it's the same in basically all countries. I could be wrong. Think about when you were growing up with your mom. Probably your mom was the one making grocery lists or telling you what chores you need to do and this kind of stuff, right? Probably not so much your dad. Anyhow, guys, so of course our answer for number 6 is obvious because it's the last remaining one. Number 6, list making apps make it possible for E, right? For people to share the job of remembering things to do around the house, right? And that's why these applications can be so useful, right? Because both wife and husband can share information on things they need to do, things they need to buy, things they need to yada, yada, yada. Now, if we think about it, remember the title of this article was, actually, wow, like I said before, I'm absent-minded, I'm forgetful. I can't remember what the title was, but I think the title was, task management apps can help save your relationship. What was it actually? Yeah, how list-making apps could save your relationship. So if you think about it, maybe you guys think about it at home, whether you're a woman or you're a guy, think about your relationship with your boyfriend, or if you have one, with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife or husband, right? I am sure that you have had arguments with your wife or with your husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, about things that you need to go buy at the supermarket, or remembering to do household chores, or remembering to do this, or remembering to do that, right? I don't think it's the number one thing that causes a lot of arguments in relationships, but I do think it's one of the biggest things that causes arguments in relationships. So that's why I think they called this article, how to-do lists can save your relationship, because maybe, if you don't forget to buy the milk at the supermarket, maybe you won't have a big fight with your wife, right? Or if you don't forget to clean up, what does my wife always ask me to do? Clean up the kitchen, don't leave the garbage bag open because the smell will come out, blah, blah, blah. Things that don't really matter too much if you're a guy, right? But matter a lot if you're a woman. Gotta be careful here, right? Okay, never mind. Let's take a look at number 5, guys. Number 5, it says chunks, right? So, this is kind of interesting. It says rearrange the words to make phrases from the text, right? Okay, so we've got some words here, but they're in the wrong order. Basically, we need to rearrange or reorder these words so that it makes something that makes sense. So let's take a look at number 1, and I'm just going to erase this here. I hope you guys wrote it down. we've got number 1, later something talk to about. Ugh, that looks terrible right now, right? Later something talk to about. Blech. That is awful. So we need to rearrange this, reorder the words so that we can make something that makes sense, right? Now I'm going to help you guys out. I'm going to give you what should be at the very beginning. It should be something. Okay, so how are we going to figure this out? Something, you know what? Something to, and then we probably want a verb, right? Something to talk. And then after talk, you need some kind of preposition. We're going to have about, of course, right? Because that's our preposition. Something to talk about in the future, right? Later. Something to talk about later. Okay, pretty simple. Let's take a look at number 2, guys. Number 2, we got list the too fashioned do old. List the too fashioned do old. There. Sounds weird, awkward, uncomfortable, right? I feel uncomfortable right now because of this sentence, right? So anyhow, list the too fashioned do old. Yeah. Now we saw this in the article, guys. Now think about donuts, right? Donuts are delicious. Yay, yummy. You go to Krispy Kreme, right? What kind of donut can you get at Krispy Kreme or Tim Hortons or some other donut place, right? You can always get old-fashioned, right? The traditional donut. So that's one part of this. List the too fashioned do old. Now, so I'm probably gonna start with the, right? And then we're gonna go with old-fashioned, right? The old-fashioned what, right? Now, they're talking about how Trello, Wunderlist, and Microsoft To Do are basically a digital version of the old-fashioned, right? What is that? That is to-do list, right? The old-fashioned to-do list. And I'm going to put a hyphen there, or a dash. To-do list. All right, so we reordered it. The old-fashioned to-do list. It's not list the too fashioned do old. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at number 3, guys. What do we got for number 3? A team work as. A teamwork as. What could the answer be here? A teamwork as. Yeah. Yeah. I think we want to start with the verb first. So what's our verb? Our verb, of course, is, actually that doesn't really help, right? But that's my version of, that's my gesture for work. Work. Work a team as, no. Work as a team. You know, if you're in a relationship, whether that's with your wife or husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, you want to work as a team, right? You want to be a unit, like in the army, right? You're gonna go get some groceries. Go, husband, go get the groceries, get the milk, and if you forget, you'll be punished, right? Anyhow, let's take a look at number 4. Number 4 here we've got the one of benefits. Oh God, okay, now for me this is very easy. Of course I'm a native speaker, right? But I hope you guys can see this too, because we use this expression quite a lot when we talk about something and then we want to talk about what's good about that thing, right? Like what's good about taking vitamin C every day, right? What's one of the pros of taking vitamin C supplements? Or what is one of the benefits? So that's what we're looking for. One of the benefits, right? And actually that's just a very useful expression, right? One of the benefits. Now, if furthermore here though, if you're going to use this expression, we say one of the benefits of, and then usually you write verb plus ing something. So one of the benefits of taking vitamin C every day is, is, and then you talk about the benefit, right? One of the benefits of taking vitamin C every day is you will have a stronger immune system, right? Or one of the benefits of eating, no, I'll change this because I'm Canadian. One of the benefits of drinking maple syrup is you will feel sweet, right? Because it's a very sweet product, maple syrup. The world's #1 condiment / sauce. All right, just kidding. But let's move on, guys, to number 5. But one of the benefits of is just very, very useful. So I'm going to put an asterisk there. Okay, number 5, easier it can it make. Easier it can it make. Ugh. So let's start with it. That's my hint right now. It, what? It can. It can do what? It can make. It can make what? It can make it. And it can make it easier, right? So again, thinking about the article here. These task management apps, Trello, Wunderlist, etc., they can make it easier, or they can make your life easier. They can make managing tasks easier. So it can make it easier. Okay, good. And lastly, guys, number 6, what do we got? We've got important it just is as. Important it just is as. Actually, it doesn't seem so bad. It's wrong, but it doesn't sound so uncomfortable or so awkward. But we don't want to say important it just is as. We want to say it, and we need a verb. So our verb is going to be is, right? The be verb. It is, and then I'm going to give you this one, just as important, right? Also, kind of a useful, sentence structure, right? It is just as important. Now, when would we use this, right? This is usually used when you're comparing two things, right? Like we say, eating breakfast is important, but also eating dinner is important as well. Actually, it is just as important. It's on the same level of importance. It's not more important. It's not less important. It's just about the same thing, right? Like thinking about going to school when you're a kid, thinking about math class and science class. A lot of teachers would say they're just as important as each other, right? Math is an important class. Science is also important, right? It is just as important. Science is just as important. And that's another thing you could do here. Replace it with some actual thing. Science is just as important. And if you want to expand this, you want to say it's just as important as something else, right? Science is just as important as math. Or, I don't know, noodles are just as important as bread, right? You agree? Bread, noodles? Okay, all right, doesn't matter. Okay, guys, so lots of good expressions once we work this out. But honestly speaking, number 6, pretty important. I like that expression. But also number 4, when you're talking about the good aspects of something, right? One of the benefits of something is this, right? So one of the benefits of doing something, or sorry, you should also just say one of the benefits of noun, right? One of the benefits of vitamin C is yada yada, or one of the benefits of consuming vitamin C, eating vitamin C, taking vitamin C. We don't usually eat vitamins, right? That sounds so weird. You got like vitamin C on your plate, right? Yada yada. Anyhow, guys, all right, so useful expressions, but especially number 4, number 6, work as a team though, also a good one. Number 2, the expression as a whole, not so much, but the term old-fashioned, that is a good one because old-fashioned, of course, means traditional. You could say, for example, my grandfather was a very old-fashioned guy, right? He was a very traditional man, very conservative, right? Something to talk about later. This is actually quite useful. So you could replace something with that and also a verb. That is not replace it, but add it here. That is something to talk about later, right? Maybe you don't want to talk about the subject anymore. You say to your wife, hey, that is something we can talk about later. And then you're in trouble, right? Because you're not talking about it now. Okay, but anyhow, guys, lots of good expressions here, but especially number 1, number 4, number 6, right? Number 5 is also good though. It can make it easier. But anyhow, guys, let's move on to number 6, our second to last exercise here. And we have 2 word phrases, so we're going to do some matching again. We've got these terms on the left. They need to be combined with terms on the right, right? So it says match the words in the left-hand column with the words in the right-hand column to make expressions from the text. So I'm going to be writing these ones on the board. So I'm just going to erase this here. I hope you guys got that down. But anyhow, guys, let's take a look at number 1. We've got email. Okay, so number 1 is email. Take a look at the list on the right. Version, yeah. Time, yeah. Up, yeah. Admin, paper, email, paper. No. Last one, F, password. Huh. So, yeah, actually that kind of makes the most sense here, right? Is number 1 combined with F, email, password. Okay, good. So let's go with that for number 1. Email, password. What is your email password? You could write it down in the comments. Just kidding, right? Okay. All right, let's take a look at number 2, guys. What do we got for number 2? We've got household. So within the house. Household what? Household version, household time, household up, household admin, household paper, paper only in the house. That sounds a little bit odd, right? So what do you guys think? What should we combine household with here on the right? Anybody got an idea? Anybody? Is anybody actually gonna give me a comment? No comments. Okay. So of course we're looking for household D, household admin, right? Household administration, the task of keeping track of things in the house and assigning tasks, right? So household admin. There we go. Let's take a look, guys, at number 3, digital. Digital. Okay, digital what? Think about the article, right? They're talking about how Trello, Wunderlist, Microsoft To Do, they are digital what of the old-fashioned to-do list, right? So of course we're talking about here a digital version. Digital version of the old-fashioned to-do list. Okay, great. And moving on, number 4, what do we got? We got printer. Okay, what word here combines with printer? So my hint here is like if you have a printer, you know that once in a while you have to go to the store and you have to buy this thing because your printer keeps running out of it and you have to keep spending money on it, right? Of course, you might be thinking printer ink. Yes, that's true. Printer ink, it's pretty pricey, right? It's kind of expensive. It's a real pain in the neck, right? But also printer paper, right? So that is our answer for that one. Pretty simple. So let's move on, guys. Number 5. Okay, what do we got? Real. Real what? Real version? No, we already took that up. Real up. That doesn't make any sense. Real admin, real paper, real password. No. So obviously our answer here is real time, right? If you can share things in real time, it means these things are not delayed, they're not postponed, they're not put off. They are shared in real time. Bada bing, bada boom, right away, right? So like this class is done in real time. This is not pre-recorded, right? This is happening live right now. It's real time. Anyhow, guys, and so lastly, number 6, we already know the answer. It is pop up, right? So to pop up. Now remember, pop up is a verb and a noun, right? To pop up and a pop up, right? Now remember the verb meaning it to pop up, boom, right? Suddenly appear. Just like when you're using your web browser and you go to a web page and then there's a pop-up, right? A pop-up pops up, right? So let me just write down that weird example because, well, everybody hates pop-ups, right? A pop-up popped up, right? So thinking about this is where's the verb, where's the noun, right? So a pop up, of course, is our noun, and then popped up is our verb, right? Because we're writing this in the past tense, right? A pop up popped up, right? So anyhow, yeah, we all know pop-ups are those annoying advertisements when you are web surfing, right? I don't know. I know a lot of you guys out there, probably like me, you'll download some kind of adware blocker like service, right? So that you don't get those pop-ups, because otherwise you're always like, oh my God, what is this? And then, close it. It sucks up a little bit of time. Anyhow, pop-ups. Okay guys, so we are done number 6. We can finally move on. We're almost done. Take a look at the next page. We've got number 7 here, word stress. Oh my God, this is causing me a lot of stress, right? Word stress. Okay, now actually, I'm not the best person for this. This is kind of an interesting, not terribly useful little exercise, right? But I think we can do this together. I think what you guys should do though is listen to me and then write down whether you think the word stress is more similar to column A or more similar to column B. So it says here, of course, put these words from the text into 2 groups according to the word stress. Now, this looks really confusing, right? Look at column A. You can see they're using kind of like circles or an oval shape to show you where the stress is, right? And A here you have an oval and then 2 circles, right? So I think what it's trying to say here is the stress is on the first syllable or the first sound of the word, right? Whereas if you look at column B you have the small circle, then you got the oval, then you got another small circle. So what I think it's saying here is the stress in the word is coming in the second syllable or the second sound, right? So let's think about this together. I'm not really a pronunciation expert. It's not my forte. It's not my strength. It's not really my cup of tea because I'm not British and I don't drink tea. Not funny. Okay, anyhow. So let's take a look here, guys. Look at the first word. Let's think about it together. Remember. Remember. Remember? Hey, remember what happened last night? No, I can't remember. I'm very absent-minded. Right? So guys, think about that. Remember, remember, remember. Is the stress in the first syllable? Is it remember? No, it's not. Remember, remember, remember. I would say this is definitely going in column B. I say the stress is definitely on the second syllable here, right? Okay, so yeah, word stress, second part or the second syllable. Remember, right? Anyhow, let's think about the second word here. Organized. Organized. I am not well organized. I try to be organized because I often forget things, but I am disorganized. I'm usually disorganized because my short-term memory is quite poor. I am forgetful or absent-minded and quite disorganized. I want to be organized. What do you guys think? Is that the first syllable or the second syllable? Where's the stress? Organized. I say this has got to go in column A, right? The stress is definitely right at the beginning, especially when you think, if you make it the opposite term, right? Disorganized, like disorganized, like or. That's definitely stress. So I think we got to go with column B for organized. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Memorable, memorable, memorable. That was a memorable experience. Going to France was a very memorable trip. Visiting Pulguksa in South Korea around Busan was quite memorable. Busan? No, not Busan. Gyeongju. Pretty sure. That was a memorable trip, but actually I can't remember where it was. But anyhow, memorable, memorable, right? Memorable. What do you guys think? Where is the stress? Memorable. Memorable. Ooh, that's kind of hard. Memorable. Memorable. I don't know. For me, I feel like the stress is memorable. 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 Bleh, bleh. Memorable. 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 I think the stress is in the... I think it's at the beginning. Memorable. Memorable. Yeah, that was memorable. Yeah, I had a good time. It was very memorable. Yeah, wasn't that memorable? 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 Oh, no. Okay, I'm confusing myself. All right. Now, of course, you guys, this is not really important, right? But I'm going to go with column B. I think it's kind of on the second syllable. Memorable, 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 right? Okay, I'm going with the column B. If you disagree with me, you think it's column A, you might be right as well. Sorry, I'm not a pronunciation expert. This one is kind of tough. Okay, let's take a look at the next one though. Management. Management. You should talk to management if you have a problem. Don't talk to me, talk to management. Talk to the manager. The manager works in management, management, management. So I'm gonna have to say definitely B here. I think the stress is in the second syllable. Management, 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 manage, right? Management. Okay, let's go with the next term though, guys. Creative, creative. All right, I am a creative person. Creative person. No, I'm not creative. That was just an example. Creative, creative. Okay, guys, I'm sorry to say, but this is also going in column B, right? Creative, creative, right? The stress is definitely in the second syllable. Okay, third one, personal, personal, right? Personal information. Don't ask me personal questions, right? I'm not gonna tell you about my personal life, right? Okay, so definitely this one, very easy. Bada bing, bada boom. First syllable, right? Personal, right? It really comes out of the mouth. So definitely the stress is on the first syllable. Column A. All right, guys, important. It is important that you wash your hands every day. That doesn't sound good, right? More than every day. That sounds terrible. You're only washing your hands once a day. It is important that you wash your hand multiple times a day, especially during this coronavirus pandemic, right? So important, important. Definitely the second syllable here, right? Important, important. So definitely column B. Okay, let's take a look at our next word, computer, computer. I have a computer. It's not too bad. Computer. Definitely, again, I'd have to say column B, computer, right? Computer kind of comes out more suddenly or strongly. So column B. Let's take a look at our next one, preference, preference. I have many different preferences, right? What do you prefer? What's your preference? Actually, that's a very good sentence, right? You can ask your friend, what do you prefer, right? Do you prefer A or B? Do you prefer cats or dogs? Do you prefer beef or pork, right? But you can also say, what is your preference, right? That's also kind of a useful question. So preference, right? Definitely column A. The stress is on the first syllable. Okay, and let's take a look at our next one here, guys. We got preparing, preparing, preparing. Oh, that's a tough one. I am preparing to give a speech. Now, because the first two syllables both start with P, like preparing, I would say, honestly, I don't think this is column A or column B. I think the stress is on both syllables, but preparing. I'm preparing, but yeah, I guess rewind a little bit. I would definitely go with column A on this, although the stress, there's still a lot of stress on the second syllable as well, right? I'm preparing to go to France. I'm preparing my speech for tomorrow. But yeah, I'm gonna go with column A. And lastly, we got here, guys, terrible, terrible, terrible. Like a lot of Canadian people, you know, our accent or the way we pronounce things is very, very similar to American people, right? Especially American people from the West Coast, but also the Northeast Coast, you know, New York and California and all these places, right? But there are a couple of words where like we will pronounce them a little bit differently compared to the Americans. And one of those words could be terrible. Canadians really stress the word terrible. We say, oh yeah, it's terrible, right? Terrible. That's a terrible thing to do, right? So terrible. Definitely going into column A. The stress is right at the beginning of the word, right? Terrible. That's terrible, right? Terrible news. Anyhow, guys, so I hope you enjoyed going over that list of words and thinking about the stress. Remember, I'm not some kind of pronunciation guru or mystic or wonder kid. So, but I think most of my choice, I believe, I know, 95% of my choices were correct. Maybe one of them was a little bit iffy. And that one that was iffy, what was that word that I thought was kind of iffy? Was it memorable? Yeah, memorable. That was a tough one. Anyhow, guys, but we do have one more question here before we take a break. We're almost at the break. After the break, of course, we're getting off of this Guardian article. I know you don't want to do this with me anymore. We're going to be doing some listening, of course. But we do have one more quick question in number 8, and it's just a discussion question. So I'll just try to model this for you. It says, do you use list making apps? Why or why not? Okay, now, I'm pretty sure you guys are like me. A lot of you guys out there, probably you're forgetful people. You're absent-minded, right? But maybe your job requires that you not forget things, right? Or maybe because of your partner, you don't want to forget things so often. So, do I use list making apps? Yes and no, but mostly yes, right? So of course, everybody uses Google Calendar. That's not a list making app per se, but it does help you to organize your weeks, right? And you can make lists on individual days. So I do that. I also have like, well, this is embarrassing, like a note making app on my phone, right? Like that's kind of old school or old fashioned. And it's like pen and paper as well. But it does help me organize things. And of course, in my workplace, sometimes we use Trello. And well, we really want to push that. We want to push it harder. So yes, I do use some list making apps. And why do I use them? Of course, I use them to try to be better organized, right? I am relatively disorganized. I'm not very organized, but I want to be more organized. So I use list making apps in order to be more organized, right? But how about you guys? Maybe you use these list making apps so that you don't forget to buy things in the grocery store, or so that you don't make your wife or boyfriend or whatever a little bit upset, or so that you can remember special days, right? Maybe you and your fiance are gonna get married. You don't want to forget what day you're getting married. Trust me, you get a lot of trouble for that one, right? Ugh, that's a bad joke. But anyhow, yeah, guys, so we're going to take a break in about 2 minutes, but I think we're done with this Guardian article for right now. Let me just quickly introduce what we're going to be doing next before we take a break here, so you guys can find this information at least. If you guys take a look, try to find the one that says listen and fill in the gaps here, because this is what we're going to be doing. And our topic here, it says 1.2 million people accept birthday party invitation. Oh my God, that sounds like my nightmare, right? 1.2 million people are coming to my birthday. I'm getting too old. I don't want 1.2 million people to know how old I am. Right? Ha ha ha. Anyhow, but yeah, sounds kind of interesting. So we're of course going to be doing some listening here. You guys are going to have to fill in some blanks. And we're gonna have to take a look at a bunch of different questions afterwards, right? So take a look at that, get it ready to go. But I will take a break here. You guys will also take a break. We'll take a 10-minute break, and I'll be back with you guys right after. So you guys have a good break. Maybe get a snack, maybe have a drink, maybe go to the bathroom, whatever you gotta do, all right? Okay, I will see you soon. Okay guys, welcome back to PST Live. We're in our third class for Tuesday, and of course now we're off of the reading, right? We're not doing any reading anymore. We're going to be doing some listening, and we're going to be listening to this interesting topic. The title is 1.2 million people accept birthday party invitation. Wow, that is a lot of people. And like I said before, sounds like my nightmare, right? Ugh, don't want so many people coming to my birthday. Now, of course, here, this is interesting because we don't have any actual warm-up material to do, right? We don't have any questions to look at to begin with. There's no key vocabulary, that kind of stuff. So we can really just kind of dive into this, start listening, and fill in some blanks. Because if you look here, you've got part of the script, right? But you've also got some blanks. So we're gonna have to listen. I think we're just gonna listen 2 times, and we're gonna try to fill in those blanks, right? Now also, I don't have the answer key, bum bum bum. So I'm gonna have to listen to this as well and fill in the blanks with you guys. So if I make a mistake, please correct me, right? You can write it in the comments section. All right guys, so let's just do this, because after we're done listening and filling in the blanks, we've got a lot of questions here to take a look at, right? There's a lot of stuff here, so we'll try our best. I don't know if we can get through all of this. There's a lot of questions. Let's try our best. So anyhow, let's listen first, but while you're listening, follow along and try to fill in those blanks, okay? Here we go. I hope it's loud enough for you guys. Here we go.
1.2 million people accept birthday party invitation. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. A father in Mexico got a surprise after he posted an invitation to his daughter's 15th birthday party on Facebook. He thought the invite was just going to his family, friends, and neighbors. Instead, the post went viral, and 1.2 million people have said they would attend the party. Crescencio Ibarra said he would not turn away anyone who came to the party for his daughter Ruby. He said everyone was invited. Mr. Ibarra said in a TV interview that he had no idea why his post became so popular and why more than 1 million people accepted his invitation. He said, "We wanted to invite the people from the area, that's all. So many people might attend the party that the local police will be out in force." A 15th birthday is an important occasion in a girl's life in Mexico. It is seen as the time when she comes of age. The girl has a special party called a quinceañera. This is a traditional event across much of Latin America. The party usually has lots of guests, and the girl wears a beautiful dress, a tiara, and makeup. At Ruby's party, there will be 3 different bands to play music and a horse race in which the winner will get $490. There are many memes of Mr. Ibarra's post on social media. He said Ruby's favorite meme shows Donald Trump and Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto agreeing to allow undocumented Mexican migrants in the USA to return to Mexico for Ruby's party. This is Cynthia Hitz reporting from Pennsylvania in the United States.
All right guys, now I'm guessing that was actually pretty hard. This woman is not reading too quickly. I'd say she's reading a little bit slower than average, but still could seem a bit tough. The vocabulary here also is not incredibly easy. It's not incredibly hard either, but I'm pretty sure you guys did not catch everything that goes in the blanks here, right? So let's listen again. Really try to fill in those blanks, right? And then after, we'll take a look at it together. So one more time. Here we go.
1.2 million people accept birthday party invitation. This is breakingnewsenglish.com. A father in Mexico got a surprise after he posted an invitation to his daughter's 15th birthday party on Facebook. He thought the invite was just going to his family, friends, and neighbors. Instead, the post went viral, and 1.2 million people have said they would attend the party. Crescencio Ibarra said he would not turn away anyone who came to the party for his daughter Ruby. He said everyone was invited. Mr. Ibarra said in a TV interview that he had no idea why his post became so popular and why more than 1 million people accepted his invitation. He said, "We wanted to invite the people from the area, that's all. So many people might attend the party that the local police will be out in force." A 15th birthday is an important occasion in a girl's life in Mexico. It is seen as the time when she comes of age. The girl has a special party called a quinceañera. This is a traditional event across much of Latin America. The party usually has lots of guests, and the girl wears a beautiful dress, a tiara, and makeup. At Ruby's party, there will be 3 different bands to play music and a horse race in which the winner will get $490. There are many memes of Mr. Ibarra's post on social media. He said Ruby's favorite meme shows Donald Trump and Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto agreeing to allow undocumented Mexican migrants in the USA to return to Mexico for Ruby's party. This is Cynthia Hitz reporting from Pennsylvania in the United States.
All right, guys, how did you do? Did you get all the blanks filled in? All right, well, I'm gonna help you guys with the blanks here. Hopefully I'm not gonna make this too easy for you guys. I know listening 2 times might not be enough for all you guys, but of course we don't wanna waste time in the live class. So let's move on and take a look at this together. All right, so at the very beginning here, we had a father in Mexico got a surprise. Then we got number 1. All right, guys, so what did you guys get here with number 1? Father in Mexico got a surprise after, right? After he did what? So we're looking for a verb after he, right? After he, because he put something online, he posted. After he posted invitation, no. What's missing? We need an article here, and we know the next word afterward is invitation. So our article is not going to be the, it's not going to be a, we're looking for un, right? Because the next word is invitation, which starts with an I, and that is a noun, and thus we need un. So a father in Mexico got a surprise after he posted an invitation to his daughter's 15th birthday party on Facebook. Okay, good job. He thought the invite was just going to his family, friends, and neighbors. Instead, blank, number 2. Okay, so he thought the invitation was just going to friends, neighbors, relatives, etc. But who did it go to? Well, it went to a lot of people, right? Now, my hint here is if you didn't get it, basically his post was like a virus, right? Which is not a very good word right now because we're dealing with coronavirus, right? But sometimes we say something went viral, right? And that means it spreads around the world very, very quickly. So what we're looking for here, guys, is the post went, because past tense, viral, like virus, right? V-I-R-A-L. So yeah, viral is related to virus, which causes disease and sickness, right? Like coronavirus. Anyhow, the post went viral. Like I said before, the meaning of this though, if something goes viral, it means it spreads very, very quickly. Like if you make a really, really funny YouTube video, right? Of course, you want it to go viral. You want it to spread all around the world because then more people will watch it and hopefully you'll get some money or something like that, right? But anyhow, so this father, he posted an invitation to his daughter's 15th birthday and it went viral. The post went viral. So it says here, the post went viral and 1.2 million people have said they would attend the party. Now, I'm not very good with Spanish pronunciation, so let me try this with this guy's name. Crescencio Ibarra said he would blank. Okay, so Crescencio Ibarra is the name of the father. He said he would do what? Now, maybe you guys got it, but Crescencio, I guess he's a nice guy, right? He is not going to do something. So that's the beginning. First part is not. He said he would not. Now here's my hint. He would not what? He would not turn away. He would not turn away. So we got a phrasal verb here. He said he would not turn away anyone who came to the party for his daughter Ruby. Now, to turn away kind of has two meanings, right? Now, we already know what turn is, right? You turn something, you physically move in a different direction, right? And turn away can physically mean, I'm, looking towards the camera, but if I turn away, I physically turn and then away, right? But turn away has a second meaning as a phrasal verb. Turn away can also mean something with an R. It can also mean reject or deny, right? So this father, he's a nice guy. He said he would not turn away anyone who came to the party for his daughter Ruby. So even though this invitation went viral to 1.2 million people, the father said if they come to the party, he would not turn them away. He will not reject them or deny them. He will allow them to join the party. Wow, what a nice guy. Because if I was the father, yeah, no, I will reject them. I will turn them away. Okay, anyhow, guys, let's move on to number 4. Number 4 here we have Mr. Okay, well, first off, he said everyone was invited. It's very nice of him. Mr. Ibarra said in a TV interview that, number 4. Okay, now what we're looking for here, actually we got a couple of words here. Now we're talking about Mr. Ibarra, so we need he. He had what? He had no idea. So he had no idea why his post became so popular and why more than 1 million people accepted his invitation. So I'm pretty sure you guys are aware of this, right? If you say, I have no idea, it means you don't know, right? When your teacher asks you a question, like, hey, John, what is 625 times or multiplied by 1.892? Now, of course, you don't know the answer, right? So, of course, you could say, teacher, I don't know. But you could also say, I have no idea. I don't know. Very useful expression, actually. But let's move on, guys, to number 5. So continuing onwards here, it says, he said, we wanted to invite the people blank for number 5. That's all. All right. So he wanted to invite people from the surrounding area, right? From the area around his neighborhood. So yeah, what we're looking for here is from to begin with. From, oh, this is too easy. From the area. So I hope you guys got that one. So from the area would just mean close to Mr. Ibarra's house, right? From the neighborhood. Okay, number 5, we're good. Moving on to number 6. Okay, that's all. Okay, so many people might attend the party that the local police will blank, right? So what will the local police do? Now again, 1.2 million people accepted the invitation to Ruby's birthday party, right? This 15th birthday party. So of course the police are going to show up, and it says they may attend the party that the local police will Now this one is really tough. You guys are probably not familiar with this expression, but we're looking for be, and then we're looking for out. They're going to be out in something with an F here. To be out in force, right? The local police will be out in force. Now, what that means here, to be out in force, it means a lot of police are going to come and they're going to be very, very strict, right? If we say, for example, the police are out in force tonight, that means there's going to be a lot of police and they're going to be very strict, right? They're going to be tough. They're going to be out in force. Okay, now moving on to our second paragraph here, guys. We're talking about how a 15th birthday party for a girl in Mexico is a very important occasion, right? So number 7 here, what do we have? It says, a 15th birthday is an important occasion, blank, 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 Mexico. And we're looking for a lot of stuff here. Now, of course, Mr. Ibarra is having a birthday party for Ruby, who is his 15-year-old daughter, right? So a 15th birthday party is an important occasion in a, what are we talking about? The daughter is a girl. So in a girl's life in Mexico, right? So I guess the 15th birthday party is an important event or occasion in a girl's life in Mexico. Now, I don't know about you guys, but maybe in your country, Japan or Korea, maybe there is some specific birthday, some specific age that when you turn is a really important event. Of course, in Canada and the United States, usually it's the 18th birthday party. Well, okay, now Canada and the States are pretty different in that regard. I would actually say in Canada, usually it's the 18th, but actually really the 19th. When you turn 19, that's an important birthday party in Canada because it means you can purchase and drink alcohol or smoke cigarettes or something like that, right? I'm not sure in your country, in Korea or Japan or Brazil. I think Brazil is 18, 19, could be wrong. Korea, I think it's also 19. I think Japan, it's 20. United States actually is more complicated because actually, like you guys probably know, in the United States, you have to wait until you're 21 in most states in order to drink alcohol. So kind of old, right? Kind of weird. Anyhow, but in Mexico, the 15th birthday is a very important occasion. Anyhow, let's move on to number 8. What do we have here? It is seen as the time when something happens. Now, this was probably hard for you guys to catch. Not difficult vocabulary, but kind of a difficult expression. This is seen as the time when she comes of age. To come of age. So that is an expression. To come of age. When did you come of age? When does a boy become a man? When does a girl become a woman, right? Now, actually, that is the meaning of come of age. Basically, the meaning here is to turn into an adult, right? For a girl to become a woman and for a boy to become a man. Now, technically in Canada and the United States, we consider 18 years old as the time when we come of age, right? When we become a real adult. But I guess different cultures, different countries have different customs. And so in Mexico, when a girl turns 15, she comes of age. She becomes an adult woman. Okay, but let's move on to number 9. I could be wrong. If anybody from Mexico is watching, you could correct me, but I'm pretty sure this is what they're saying here, right? Okay, guys, but number 9 here. Bum, bum, bum. The party usually blank. Guess, and the girl wears a beautiful dress, a tiara, and makeup. Wow, tiara. Wow, that's amazing, right? The party usually blank. What are we thinking here? The party usually what, right? Okay, well. Hey, Jose. Hey, it's good to see you again. Yeah. Yeah, good. Somebody is making comments. That's excellent. Yeah, it's good to see you again as well, Jose. I hope everything's going well in Brazil. I hope there's not too much coronavirus in Brazil because it's really shut down things in Canada. But anyhow, sorry, I'll continue here. The party usually blank. Guess, and the girl wears a beautiful dress, a tiara, and makeup. Okay, now number 9 actually is pretty simple. The party usually has something. So the first part is has. What does it have? It has what? Has lots of, right? Because that makes sense. The party has lots of guests. It has lots of, it has lots of guests. The girl wears a beautiful dress. Wow, that's great, right? They wear a dress and a tiara and makeup. Now, I don't know if you guys know what a tiara is, but a tiara is something that usually a princess wears, like in a Disney movie or in a movie about medieval history, right? Tiara is kind of like a crown, right? A crown covers the whole head. The king wears a crown, right? Maybe the queen. The queen, what's happening with your hair? Yeah, that's a good question, Jose. I'll tell you in a second. But a tiara is just that kind of one that usually goes on the front. And, you know, little girls like to wear a tiara. So Jose asked me what happened. Jose asked me what happened to my hair. That's a good question. Of course, I can't get a haircut right now. All the hair salons are completely shut down. So my wife told me she could give me a haircut, but my wife has never cut somebody's hair before. So I'm thinking about it in my head. If this continues much longer, maybe I will let my wife cut my hair, but it could be a disaster. So yeah, I'm thinking about it, but I really do want a haircut. I was actually just thinking about it this morning. Yeah, lots of cases in Brazil, but we are going well. Okay, that's good, that's good. Yeah, I hope not as many as Canada, but I think in Canada right now, the number is gonna start declining soon, or that's what we're hoping anyhow. But anyhow, guys, back to number 9. Yeah, it has lots of guests, and the girl wears a beautiful dress, a tiara, and makeup. Wow. Anyhow, guys, at Ruby's party, there will be 3 different something, music, and a horse race in which the winner will get $490. Wow, that's pretty good. 490 bucks in a horse race. But we got to think about the blank here for number 10, guys. So what do we got here? At Ruby's party, there will be 3 different what? Now, we know after the blank says music. So who plays music? And also play is part of this as well, right? Of course, bands. Bands play music. So there will be 3 different bands to play music. All right, guys, so that's what we're looking for. 3 different bands to play music. Sorry, guys, if that looks a little bit funny on the bottom there. Yeah, anyhow. Okay, moving on, guys. We only got 2 more here. There are many memes. Memes, kind of a useful word. That was very cool. I've made it very oh, thanks, Jose. Yeah, we'll see. After this coronavirus thing is over, I'm definitely gonna go get a haircut though. But anyhow, guys, number 11. There are many memes. Now, memes actually kind of a useful word. Meme is a kind of joke, right? Joke picture, basically. The explanation is here. You can find lots of memes online about different things, right? But number 11, many memes of Mr. Ibarra's something, right? Now, there are many memes about what? Mr. Ibarra, remember, he posted the invitation online, right? So we can refer to what he posted as a post, right? So Mr. Ibarra's post, and then we need on because it has to be on somewhere, right? Now remember, Mr. Ibarra posted this somewhere. Where did he post it? He posted it on Facebook. And then when people make memes, they're gonna post them on some kind of websites like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, those other kind of things, right? And those are all known as what? What do we call those things? Facebook, Instagram, etc. There are different things we can call them. A lot of people will call them social networking websites, right? SNS or SNW, right? But we can also call them social media, right? So post on social media. Okay, good. All right, guys, and number 12, guys. What do we got? Okay, he said Ruby's favorite meme shows Donald Trump and Mexican President Enrique Peña Nieto agreeing to allow undocumented Mexican something USA to return to Mexico for Ruby's party, right? Now, actually, this is really tough, and there's some really hard vocabulary here. I'm pretty sure almost nobody probably got the answer correctly here. This is actually really tough. I think you guys probably don't know this word, but we're looking for the word migrant, right? Migrant. And then we're talking about migrants in, and then of course, when we talk about USA, we don't just say USA, United States of America. We always say the USA, the United States of America. So we need migrants in the United States of America, right? Okay, good. So again though, that last paragraph or that last sentence, lots of difficult vocabulary here. Just 1 second, guys. I'm agreeing to allow undocumented. Ooh, okay, lots of tough words here. Like we have the term undocumented, right? If somebody is undocumented, that means, of course, they don't have documents, right? If you are, for example, an undocumented immigrant or illegal immigrant, that means you don't have documents. You shouldn't be living in that country, right? And that's kind of what we're talking about in the 12th part, the 12th blank here, undocumented Mexican migrants, because migrant describes somebody who goes from one country to another country in order to seek and find work, right? So of course you guys are probably aware that in the United States this is kind of a political problem for Americans and also for Mexicans, because, oh hi Vanessa, nice to see you too, because a lot of people from Mexico, sometimes they're very poor, they come to the United States, but they go there illegally without proper documents, right? They don't have a green card. So we can call these people undocumented migrants. So the joke here, they're talking about in the last part here, Ruby's favorite meme, it shows Donald Trump and the Mexican president, Enrique Peña Nieto, agreeing to allow undocumented Mexican migrants in the United States to return for Ruby's party, and then after they can go back to the United States and work illegally. So obviously it's kind of a funny joke, you know, haha. I don't know if you guys find it funny. I thought it's kind of funny. Anyhow guys, but these are all the answers for what should actually go in the blank here. I hope you guys were actually able to catch that before I gave you guys the answer, but honestly some of them are pretty tough. But 1 second, looking at them again, lots of useful expressions here, right? Like to post something on a certain place, right? After you posted on, after you posted an advertisement or an invitation. But this expression, something goes viral, is a good expression, to go viral, right? If something goes viral, it's like a virus, it spreads all over the world, right? Turn away, also useful phrasal verb. Remember, turn away can physically mean you turn your body away, right? But turn away can also mean to reject somebody or to deny somebody. So somebody comes to your house, they're like, oh, I'm very hungry, could I please eat something? If you turn them away, you say like, hey, sorry, I don't have food for you. You're gonna have to go somewhere else, right? I'm gonna turn you away. So two different meanings, good phrasal verb. He had no idea. Okay, yeah, extremely useful, right? To have no idea, right? If you say, I have no idea, it means I don't know, right? When is John's birthday, right? I have no idea. I got no idea. I got no clue, right? And that's another good expression. You could also say to have no clue. C-L-U-E. Sorry, that's kind of hard to read. But if you say I have no clue, it means I don't know. No idea, right? Good stuff. From the area. If somebody's from the area, they come from that neighborhood. The area is just a small couple of blocks radius around where somebody might live. To be out in force. So, like I said before, if somebody is out in force, if the police, usually we talk about this with the police or the military, if the police or the military are out in force, that means there are many of them and they're being very strict, right? Okay, this one in a girl's life. Well, I can't really talk about that one. To come of age, not a very useful expression, but to come of age means to turn into an adult. So when a boy becomes a man or a girl becomes a woman. Has lots of, okay, you guys already know, have a lot of something, you've got a high quantity, high number of something, right? I have a lot of, or I have lots of, what do I have lots of? I have lots of macaroni noodles at home, right? Because I need macaroni noodles in case the coronavirus gets worse and we have to eat macaroni. Anyhow, number 10, not very important, can't really talk about that. Post on social media, yeah, can't really talk about that. And the last one here, not really an expression, but the word migrant, not a terribly useful term, but just remember a migrant is a word that describes somebody who goes from one country to another to seek work, right? So lots of undocumented migrants from Mexico go to the United States to work in the United States. Or, I don't know, when was that? 4 or 5 years ago, there are a lot of migrants from the Middle East that went to Europe, right? They went to Germany and Sweden and all those countries. Anyhow, guys, but that about does it for our blanks. I should really zip it up. We should definitely move on because we got a lot of questions to look at here. I hope we can really go through the true false section really quickly. So let's think about this together. True or false? Number 1, a father sent 1 million birthday party invitations. What do you guys think? Now, actually, I'll give you guys a moment because I need to erase the board anyhow here. So what do you guys think? Is that true or false that a father sent 1 million birthday party invitations? Did the father actually invite, with invitations, 1 million people? Did he do that? Is the answer true or is the answer false? Okay, well, I'm not sure if you guys know the answer, but I'll give it to you guys and explain why. The answer here is false. No, he did not send 1 million birthday invitations, right? So remember, actually there are 2 reasons why this is false. First reason, he posted the invitation on Facebook, right? He didn't personally send the invitation to 1 million people. So he just posted it on Facebook to invite people from the neighborhood. So yes, that's why it is false. But also, if you pay attention to the way this is worded, a father sent 1 million. If you think about the number 1 million, and then you think about the title of this article, the article is 1.2 million people, right? So technically you could say this is false because the number is not the same, right? It's actually different. Okay, but anyhow, let's take a look at number 2, guys. The father did not want his neighbors at the birthday party. The father did not want the neighbors at the birthday party? What do you guys think? Now, thinking here, actually just the second sentence says he thought the invite was just going to his family, friends, and neighbors. So no, actually I think the father wanted the neighbors to be invited to the party. So actually I would say the father did not want his neighbors at the birthday party. No, this is also false. That's not true. The father did want the neighbors to come to the birthday party. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. The father said he would turn some people away from the party. Okay, we just talked about that, right? The expression to turn somebody away, to deny somebody. And if we take a look back in this listening activity, where does it say? Okay, Crescencio Ibarra said he would not turn away anyone who came to the party for his daughter Ruby, right? So this one here, the father said he would turn some people away from the party. No, that's not true. He said anybody who comes will be invited because I guess he's apparently a very nice person, right? So we have false again. Wow, 3 false in a row. Okay, number 4 has got to be true, right? Let's take a look. There will be a lot of police officers at the party. Okay, good. Now this is also related to something we just talked about. Remember, the police will be out in force. If the local police will be out in force, again, that means there's going to be a lot of police and they're going to be very, very strict. So there will be a lot of police officers at the party. Yes, this is true. This is not false at all. Okay, good. All right, guys, so number 5. The 15th birthday is important for a girl in Mexico. Okay, so remember the 15th birthday is when a girl comes of age, right? And that's something we talked about. A girl becomes of age in Mexico at 15 years old. So the 15th birthday is important? Yeah, of course, in Mexico it's very important. If this was about Canada or the United States, yeah, no, it's not really such an important birthday. But like I said before, Canada states 18, but also 19 here. I'd say in the States also, a lot of Americans really celebrate the 16th birthday, but it doesn't mean they're coming of age. It doesn't mean they're gonna have like special privileges to buy alcohol or anything, right? Anyhow, number 6. The father said there would be 3 bands and a racehorse at the party. Okay, well, yeah, I think that's true. If we take a look back, it says at Ruby's party, there will be 3 different bands to play music and a horse race in which the winner will get $490. Wow, pretty good deal, right? So number 6, the father said there would be 3 bands and a horse and a racehorse at the party. And a racehorse. This is a little bit tricky. At first I thought, okay, this is definitely true. Because yes, there will be 3 bands. And there will be a race horse. But actually there will be race horses because, yeah, this might be unnecessarily difficult actually. Now I want to say true, and I do think this is true. There will be 3 bands at the party, like we just saw. But there will also be a horse race. But kind of the interesting thing here is in the question it says race horse, but in the article it says horse race. Now a horse race of course means there are many horses and they're racing, right? But a race horse actually has a different meaning. A race horse is just a horse that races, right? So technically you could say here that this is actually false because it should say the father said there would be 3 bands and a horse race at the party, not a race horse. However, I actually believe that this is kind of a mistake and they mixed it up. So I think this is actually true because even if there is a horse race, there will be race horses there, right? Anyhow, I'm probably overthinking it. Don't worry about it. Let's just say it's true. Okay, number 7, guys. Social media was full of jokes about the father's party invitation. Now you remember, they said that there are many memes about this invitation that went viral, right? So of course, memes are a kind of joke. So yes, this is also true because there were many jokes about this. So number 8, guys, our last true-false question says, Donald Trump said migrants in the USA could go to the birthday party. No, this one I'm just gonna write down false because it's very obvious for me. Now remember, Donald Trump didn't actually say, oh yeah, migrants in America, you can go back to Mexico, you can join the party, and after it's done you can come here back to the country illegally and continue to work illegally. Of course Donald Trump would not say that, right? We all know Donald Trump's feelings towards migrants and immigrants. So obviously the answer here is false. Okay, all right guys, but we're making some progress. Finally, let's move on. We only got about 10 minutes left. So I think what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna try our best to do these comprehension questions. I think for today, I don't think that we will actually get into the discussion questions. Sorry, we're not gonna have enough time. And also, I don't think we can finish all these comprehension questions. They're really tough. What I would like to do with the comprehension questions is to write down the correct answer and kind of show you a style of answering these kind of questions that will hopefully be a little bit useful for you guys. Because usually, and like when I was a kid in English class and history class, and whenever I had to do written questions, the teacher would always tell us, when you answer a question, you should start with addressing the question first. So if we take a look at comprehension question number 1, where did the father post the birthday party invitation? we want to reword the question when we make the answer. Where did the father post the birthday party invitation? So we're going to start with the father posted now I'm going to be lazy. Instead of writing birthday, I'm going to write B-day, which is short for birthday. The father posted the B-day invitation. Now we need our answer, right? So I'm answering the question kind of directly by rewording it, right? The father posted the B-day invitation where? Where did he post it? So if we think back about the listening article, he posted it on a very famous social media website. Of course, Facebook, right? So that's what it says. He posted the invitation to his daughter's 15th birthday party on Facebook. So the father posted the birthday invitation. Now we need on. When you have post, you need on for your preposition on Facebook. But a lot of people, we just write FB, right? Facebook. Okay, good. Let's take a look at number 2. Now, number 2, we'll do the same kind of thing. We'll reword the question in order to make the answer. Who did the father say he would turn away? Okay, now this one actually is kind of a tricky one because if you guys remember, Crescencio Ibarra said he would not turn anyone away. So let's reword this. Who did the father say he would turn away? The father said he would. Now, what would he do? He would not turn away anyone, right? Said he would not turn away anyone. Okay, good. Now, number 3. On what medium did the father give an interview? Okay, now that question itself is a little bit hard because it says medium. And I think you guys know one of the meanings of medium, right? Like not a lot, not too little, like medium, right? But medium can also mean like through which, how can I put it? Like medium. Like there are many different mediums in which to communicate with somebody, right? Mediums are different forms of communication, right? Could just be person to person, could be through the newspaper, could be through sending letters, could be on an online web page, or it could be social media, right? But it says, on what medium did the father give an interview? Okay, now thinking back, okay, this one is pretty easy. It says, Mr. Ibarra said in a TV interview. So that's our answer. We're looking for TV. So let's reword this. On what medium did the father give an interview? Let's just say he gave an interview on TV. Okay, pretty simple. Okay, but let's move on, guys. Number 4, because we're running out of time. From which location did the father want to invite people to the party? From which location did he want to invite people to the party? Let me think here. Actually, I'm not thinking where.
1.2 million people accept.
That's weird. I didn't even touch the mouse there, guys. Guess it has a mind of its own. Okay. Now, actually, the answer here, wasn't thinking, but it's actually pretty simple. If you look around the 5th blank, he said he wanted to invite the people from the area, right? So from which location did he want to invite people to the party? Just from the area. So you could just write from the area, but again, I want to reword the question. So let's say again, the father wanted to invite people from the area. And when we say from the area, it kind of means like the local area, surrounding area, the neighborhood. Okay. So let's take a look. Number 5, guys. Number 5. Who will be out in force at the birthday party? We know who will be out in force. It is the police, because we talked about that many times. So let's just say the police will be out in force. Okay guys, now I just wanted to write those ones on the board, but actually 6 through 10 here, because we're kind of running out of time. We only got 4 minutes left. I'm just going to go over these orally with you, and I would like you guys to think about the discussion questions at home. It'll be kind of useful, and I hope a lot of the vocabulary here you can somehow incorporate into your writing assignment, but not just your writing assignment, just into your English as well. But let's take a look at number 6 together. What birthday is an important one for a girl in Mexico? Okay, so Ruby, Crescencio, the father's daughter, Ruby, how old is she turning? She's turning 15, right? And like they said, the 15th birthday in Mexico is really important because that's when she comes of age. So basically our answer for number 6 is, what does a girl usually, for number 6, yeah, what birthday is an important one for a girl in Mexico? The answer should be the 15th birthday, or when a girl turns 15. Okay, taking a look guys, number 7, what does a girl usually wear on her head? Okay, we also talked about this. It's not a crown, right? Crown covers the whole head, or around the whole head. Instead, it was a tiara. Tiara, right? T-I-A-R-A. And tiara looks like a crown, but it doesn't cover the whole head. It just kind of covers the front part of your forehead. And again, lots of little girls or princesses like tiaras. My daughter likes wearing a tiara. Anyhow, number 8. How many bands will play at the party? Oh, I feel like we also talked about this one a lot as well. Pretty simple. 3 bands will play at the party, right? Mr. Ibarra, the father, invited 3 bands. So that's our answer for number 7. 3 bands. Okay, and number 9. How much money will the winner of a horse race get? Okay, now the number is not 500. It's very close to $500, but whoever wins the horse race will get, can you guys remember? It's back in there, $490. So the winner of the horse race will get $490. All right, awesome. And lastly, number 10. Who did a meme say might be able to return to Mexico for a party? Or for the party? This is too easy. We already talked about this. Of course, it is the President of the United States. We're talking about Donald Trump. So those memes, those jokes, they were making a joke about how Donald Trump had invited, or not invited, but told people that migrants, undocumented illegal migrants in the United States, he told them that it's okay, you can go back to the party in Mexico, and after you're done with the party, you can come back to America and continue to work illegally, right? That is definitely not something that Donald Trump would do, and that's why it's a joke, right? Okay guys, but I think that's about it for today. I'm sorry again that we kind of ran out of time. We don't have time for the discussion questions. I would have liked to address those and gone over them with you. But anyhow, I know that yesterday Melanie gave you guys some writing homework to do. Please try to finish that so that we can get it marked for you guys. I hope that was also very interesting for you guys. Jose and Vanessa, it was very nice to hear from you guys again. I really do hope things are good in Brazil right now. And I hope your son Leonardo is doing quite well. I hope he's in school. I don't know if school is open in Brazil, or maybe he's taking online classes right now, right? It's a pretty tough time, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna get through this in another month or 2, and then I think things will start returning to normal. Hopefully, right? Anyhow guys, that about does it for me tonight. Yeah, I wish you guys all well, stay safe, and do the homework if you can, right? And I will see you guys next week. And I'll erase the board.